Good morning students. Topic of our today's class is cancer. Today we are going to discuss about one of the most dreadful disease that is occurring, and this is responsible for the death of lots of individuals. So first of all we need to understand that what is cancer. See, first generally we are going to come in a normal situation. What happens in a normal situation? Most of our body cells, they are actively dividing cells, means they are continuously undergoing mitotic division, and with the help of this mitotic division the old cells are replaced by the new cells. But this mitotic division is occurring in controlled manner, and these normal cells are going to show a process that is contact inhibition. What this contact inhibition means? It simply means that there are cells that are present in our body. They are surrounded by rest of the cells in our body. So suppose there are lots of cells. If this cell is undergoing division, then other cells are surrounding this cell. So these cells, their contact is limiting its growth. So it is going to divide that much only the space that is going to be present around this cell. So uncontrolled division is not taking place because of this contact inhibition, that is because of the other cells that are present near to this cell. But when the cells, they suppose this is the cell which I am talking about, this cell has lost the ability of contact inhibition, then what this cell is going to do? This cell is going to show uncontrolled mitotic division, and this uncontrolled mitotic division will be unlimited, that is continuously going to divide itself, and because of its continuous division the rest of the cells will be displaced, they are going to die, and this cell here that is present is going to form a mass of cells, a clump of cell is formed, and that will be known as tumor. So this is the initial stage when cancer is going to develop. So what happens in cancer? The cells, the normal cells, they lose the ability of contact inhibition, and they are going to show uncontrolled and unlimited division. And because of this uncontrolled and unlimited division, the size of a tissue is going to enlarge, and it will be responsible for the formation of tumor. So this is how cancer is going to occur. Now the exact situation, the exact reason because of which this cell has lost this contact inhibition and it has started uncontrolled division is, there are lots of reasons, but we are not clear about that particular reason, that what has happened inside this cell so that it became undergo uncontrolled and unlimited division. But now this cell has developed a tumor, or it has changed into a cancerous cell. So the cancerous cells, they are going to divide like normal cells, but in normal cells the division was up to a certain limit. Here the limit is not there. That is the simple thing. Another thing is, these cancerous cells are immortal, plus they are not showing sticky nature, or they are not going to aggregate, but there are more chances that they are going to spread throughout the body. So we are having different types of tumor depending upon where this cancerous cell is going to be present. Either it is going to be always stay at that particular position from where it has originated, or from this particular part where it has originated, it is going to migrate to the rest parts of the body. So depending upon this, we are going to differentiate this cancer into two different types. The first one is benign tumor. Benign, or it is also known as non-malignant, and the second one is known as malignant, or it is the cancerous situation. So at what stage we are calling it as benign or non-malignant tumor? Simply it is going to grow slowly. Initially the growth is slow. Here the tissue is going to show unlimited growth. Increase in the size of the tissue is taking place, but it always remains at the point of origin. Where a cancerous cell has developed, the tumor is going to develop on that particular place only. So it is going to be remain at the place of origin. And when size of a tissue is continuously increasing, that is leading to crowding, and it is affecting other organs also. So this is a painful situation. Like brain is there, when brain tumor is there, then brain is going to squeeze because of the increase in the size of the tumor. So because it is located at one particular place, so by surgical method many of the times the tumor is removed. That means that is a less severe situation that can be handled and it can easily be removed. Now what happens? Sometimes this benign or malignant, non-malignant tumor, the cells that are present over here, they break off and they enter into the bloodstream. And when they are entering into the bloodstream, they are circulating in different parts of our body with the help of bloodstream, and they are going to reside in some different body part and grow there. So this is leading to simply spreading of cancerous cells in different body parts. That is malignant or cancerous tumor. Excuse me. Now this condition, when it is going to break off and going to circulate in the complete body, that is known as metastasis. So what metastasis is simply means that the cancerous cells are going to break off and they are going to spread throughout the body parts. They are going to affect other body parts also. So they have originated from one single point, but they didn't remain at one single point. They have circulated throughout the body, and this is the severe situation which ultimately leads to the death of an individual. Cure at this particular stage is almost impossible, because almost all the body parts of the individual are affected by these cancerous cells, and they are going to disturb the functioning of the normal organs of our body. So this is how we are having two type of cancers. If it is going to be remaining at one single place, means at the place of origin, that is known as benign or malignant tumor. That is the most that is not that much severe condition. But if the cells are going to migrate at different places, it can be benign also, that has changed into malignant one. So these are two type of cancers. Now depending upon that which tissue is affected, three different types of cancers. We have given different names to the cancer type of cancer depending upon which type of tissues they are affecting. So it is on the basis of types of tissues affected. Sarcoma, carcinoma and leukemia. See, we are calling a cancer as sarcoma when the tissues that have originated from mesoderm, they are affected. So tissues which are mesodermal in origin, and are connective tissues, lymphoid organs. So when these tissues are affected, a cancer is developing in these tissues, we call it as sarcoma. In connective tissues, we are having bones, cartilages, then tendons can be affected, adipose tissues can be affected. So this when these tissues are going to be affected, that term is, the term given is sarcoma. We are using the word carcinoma basically when there will be affection of epithelial and glandular tissues. So when epithelial tissues and glandular tissues are going to be affected, we are using the word carcinoma. Like breast cancer is there, then stomach cancer is there, pancreatic cancer is there. These are known as carcinomas. Leukemia. We call leukemia when there is excessively increase in the number of WBCs. And we know where these WBCs are going to form. These WBCs are going to form in bone marrow. So whenever there is any problem in bone marrow and bone marrow has increased the secretion of WBCs, and these WBCs are going to be more in blood and lymph, in lymph nodes, such situation is known as leukemia. So depending upon which type of tissue is developing cancer, we have given different terms for it. Now if someone asks that when an individual should go for a doctor, or when an individual know that he or she might be suffering from cancer, so there are few of the symptoms. If these symptoms are going to be persisting for long time in an individual, then an individual is required to consult a doctor. What are such possible symptoms? So these can be the possible symptoms of cancer. There can be a wound in the body that is not healing for a very long time. So any injury, or you can say especially wound is not healing for long time. So these are the possibilities. Second is blood is coming out from any of the body opening. The individual is suffering from persistent cough from a very long time, so that can be a possible symptom of lung cancer, because in that cough is there, continuous cough. Then the next one is there is weight loss, and there is no reason behind that particular weight loss. So excessive weight loss is there. Or another reasons for this can be that there is change in the bowel movements. Of an individual, there is mild fever that is almost coming in throughout the year, or there are lots of months from which the individual is suffering from fever. So that can another be reason. So there are lots of possible symptoms. If these possible symptoms are going to be occurring from a very long time in individual, then an individual must consult a doctor, because these can be the starting signs for a cancer development. Now what are the different causes for cancer? Cancer is a complex disease that has not caused because of one single reason. There are various reasons for the cause of the cancer. One reason can be constant irritation. constant irritation of the body parts. Like one simple one is constant irritation, you can say constant heat that is in contact with the body. One simple example is in Kashmiris. What they do to prevent themselves from cold? They keep a earthen pot near to their abdomen to make themselves warm. Now this earthen pot is hot, so that heat is directly coming in contact with the skin, so they suffer from abdominal cancer. So there is constant irritation with heat. Another can be tobacco chewing. This tobacco chewing is continuously irritating the buccal, the cheek cells that are present, the buccal epithelial cells, and because of this continuous irritation of these buccal epithelial cells, they might develop cancerous cells. So it is because of constant irritation of buccal epithelial cells. Another reason for irritation is smoking. So if individual is continuously smoking, that smoke is going to irritate the respiratory tract, so cancer is going to develop. Chances are that cancer is going to develop in the respiratory tract also. Then there can be because of continuous exposure of sun. So continuous exposure of sun is irritating the skin cells, so individual might get developed with skin cancer. So if individual is coming in contact with any of these things continuously, there are chances of getting development of cancer. The second reason can be chemicals which are responsible for the development of cancer. Now chemicals will be nicotine is there, caffeine. Then when there is burning of coal and petroleum, this burning of coal and petroleum is also responsible for release of various chemicals which are carcinogen in nature. So these are also responsible for cancer development. These are another, again when smoking is there, this smoking is also leading to emission of carcinogenic chemicals. So these carcinogenic chemicals are going to enter inside our body and they will be responsible for the development of cancer. Another reason for cancer development can be radiations. When an individual is coming in contact with harmful radiations, cancer development can occur. So these radiations, they can be ultraviolet radiations, X-rays, gamma rays. So whenever an individual is coming in contact with these type of rays, the radiologists who are having a direct contact with X-rays, they are more prominent for cancer development, like leukemia is very common in radiologists. So the chances of leukemia are going to be more in radiologists because they are continuously coming in contact with X-rays. Ultraviolet radiations, they are also responsible for mutations like thymine dimer. They are responsible for the development of skin cancer. So radiations are also one of the important source or cause for cancer development. Another cause can be virus. See, some of the viruses, they are having genes that are responsible for cancer causing, and these genes are known as oncogenes. So what oncogenes are? Oncogenes are cancer causing genes. So whenever a virus is going to enter into the body of an individual, that if that virus is having oncogene, that is leading to the cancer. Or there are genes that are present in our body also, which are present in inactive form. These are known as proto-oncose genes. So these are the cancerous genes that are present in our genome, but they are present in inactivated form. Now it might get happened that because of the entry of a virus inside the cell, when the virus is incorporating its own genetic material in our genetic material, then these proto-oncogenes get activated and they are converting into oncogenes, and in their activated form they are responsible for cancer development. So this might get happened. So viruses are sometime, we are not having very much clear evidences that viruses are causing cancer in human beings, but this might be possible that this is how the viruses are going to be the cause of cancer in human beings. See, I have written some of the characteristics of cancerous cells. Some of these we have already talked about. So cancerous cells are going to divide ceaselessly, means they are not going to stop their division, they are continuously going to show unlimited division. Now they are going to divide in an uncontrolled manner by losing contact inhibition. Whenever contact inhibition is there, there will be controlled growth, and after losing this contact inhibition, the growth will be uncontrolled. They are not going to undergo differentiation, means they are not going to play or take part in any of the function or organ or tissue of the body. The only thing what they are going to do is just show division. Then they form tumor, because lots of cells are increasing because of division. So these cells are going to accumulate, and this is leading to enlargement of the tissue, and that is tumor development. Now they are not, many of the times they are not going to be retained at that particular place from where they have originated. They are going to spread in the nearby tissues, and they are going to affect their function, and at the final stage they are going to move throughout the body, and at different parts of the body they are responsible for development of secondary tumor. Primary tumor is developed at the place of origin, and later on the different tumors that are spreaded because of metastasis, they will be secondary tumor. So these are some of the characteristics of cancerous cells. Now how these cancerous cells are detected? These cancerous, there are lots of technologies that are used for the detection of cancerous cells. Biopsy can be done for the detection. So for the detection and diagnosis of cancer, biopsy is done. What is done in biopsy? A tissue, part of a tissue is cut from the body, and a thin slice of this tissue is stained, and it is observed under microscope, and the growth is observed, that how that tissue is going to be grow. So in this biopsy, a simple tissue, that part where there are chances of cancer development, that tissue is cut out from the body, and it is observed, a thin slice of it is observed under microscope. The internal body, if internal body organs are having cancer, that can be detected by radiography, or it can be detected by CT, computed tomography, or MRI can be done. This is magnetic resonance imaging. So these are some of the techniques through which cancer can be detected. And after, see, if cancer can be detected at primary stage, then chances are that individual can be treated through cancer. But if in later stages cancer is going to be detected, the chances of an individual to get cured from cancer are going to decrease. First thing that can be done for tumor, especially benign cancer, is surgery. And in surgery, the part that has developed tumor, that tumor is going to be completely removed from the body with the help of surgery. Or second can be, the individual can be provided some radiations like X-rays, which are going to kill the cancerous cells. So these are not going to affect the normal cells of our body, but they are going to affect these radiations are going to affect the cancerous cells of our body. The next can be chemotherapy. In chemotherapy, lots of drugs, antiviral drugs, lots of anti-cancerous drugs are given to the individual, that is going to affect the cancerous cells. But sometimes there are some side effects of these treatments also, because many of the times the normal cells of the body are also getting infected. So we can see some of the side effects that, like simple one is there is loss of hairs. The individual that is undergoing these therapies, the individual will lose his hairs. So these are some of the side effects. So there can be some anti-cancer drugs that are given, and these anti-cancer drugs are inhibiting DNA synthesis. So anti-cancer drugs are given which are going to inhibit DNA synthesis in cancerous cells, and because of this DNA synthesis, stoppage of DNA synthesis, it will lead to the death of the cancerous cells. But again I told you there are lots of side effects that are related to these treatments, and if individual has reached to a stage of metastasis, then cure of cancer is not that much possible. So this is all about cancer. The next topic which we have to discuss is addiction. Addiction for alcohol, for smoking, for drugs. So what do we understand by the word addiction? Addiction simply means that there is dependence on a substance that is beyond the voluntary control of an individual, and individual becomes habitual. Physiologically and psychologically, the individual is going to be dependent on that particular substance, and most of the times these substances are going to be harmful. So this is what addiction is. It is basically habitual to a substance that is beyond voluntary control. So it is not in the control of an individual to avoid that particular substance. If we see in our society, addiction is mostly seen for smoking. It is for alcohol and drugs. Now all these are having a severe effect on the body. That means they are going to be responsible for death of the most of the youth because of their overdose. So initially when an individual start consuming these substances, there are various reasons for that. Either the individual is feeling feeling independence, there is a feeling of wellness, or you can say goodness, a good feeling is there. that peer group is going to be like encouraging the individual to have such type of substances, or there are some family problems because of which a individual is in stress, and because of that, to walk away from that stress situation, the individual is going to adapt these things. So initially the individual start using these substances in very small concentration, but later on the dose is going to increase and individual becomes addicted to these things. So when an individual come to know that these things are harmful and they are having severe effect on their body, they are affecting their family as well as their society also, up to that time he or she has addicted to them, and now it is not in their control to get away from these substances. So this is a very severe, or you can say the situation which we need to think, because that is destroying various families as well as societies also. So addiction can be for smoking, that means tobacco is there in BD, cigarettes, tobacco is filled, and this tobacco is having nicotine, that is very dangerous, and it is responsible for causing mostly lung cancer also. Then alcohol, that is also having various severe effects on the body, and drugs, different drugs are consumed, and because many of the times because of their overdose individuals die also. So we are here going to discuss about tobacco in smoking section, then alcohol and drugs. So we are going to discuss about tobacco. It is Nicotiana tabacum. What this tobacco is? It is a tall annual herb that is belonging to family Solanaceae. Now this tobacco is going to be grown in everywhere in the world. And what is done with this tobacco? The young leaves of tobacco, they are having nicotine. So these leaves are dried, they are cured, means they are fermented, and then nicotine is going to be taken out. So these are used, the tobacco plant is used as the leaves are dried and cured, and they are used as tobacco for different purposes, like smoking is there, some of the individuals use it for chewing also. Excuse me. So the main stimulating component that is present in this tobacco plant is nicotine, that is going to be produced in the roots of the plants. Nicotine is produced by roots, but it is getting stored in leaves. So the leaves are containing almost 2 to 8% of nicotine that is going to enter inside the body when individual is using this tobacco for smoking purpose or chewing purpose. What this nicotine is going to do inside the body in low concentration, when it is taken by an individual in low amount, then it is responsible for the stimulation of conduction of nerve impulse. How it is responsible for the stimulation of conduction of nerve impulse? Because here it is going to act like acetylcholine. We know it is a neurotransmitter that is helping in nerve impulse conduction. So nicotine is going to mimic the function of acetylcholine, and it will be responsible for the conduction of nerve impulse. Secondly, it is going to relax muscles. So because of smoking or chewing of tobacco, an individual feels a good, the sensation is good, he or she feel relaxed because the muscles are going to relax. Then it is responsible for the release in adrenaline, and because of high amount of adrenaline, the blood pressure is going to increase and the heart rate is going to increase, and because of this increase in heart rate, there are chances of development of various heart disorders. So heart disorders can be developed because of high heart rate. Then if a expecting or a pregnant mother is consuming tobacco, that is affecting the growth of the fetus. So fetal growth will be retarded if the expecting mother is consuming tobacco in any way. That causes addiction. continuous intaking of nicotine is responsible for addiction. The individual always wanted to take it whether he is willing or not. So this is something about tobacco. Now what are the different disorders that are going to occur because of continuous intake of tobacco? The first simple one is cancer, because in smoking there are lots of cancerous substances that will be released, so cancer is there. Then heart diseases because of more and more secretion of adrenaline. Another, the tobacco is going to affect the gastric glands. So when the gastric glands are going to be affected, they are going to release gastric juice whether required or not. So it is leading to peptic ulcer. So this is how respiratory problems, lung cancer, this is how intake of tobacco is responsible for various diseases and disorders. So just to brief it in a tabular form, we are going to see what are the disadvantages or what are the different disorders that are related with tobacco consumption. So these are some of the disorders that are occurring because of because of smoking. So because of continuous smoking, the carcinogenic substances that are present in the smoke like benzpyrene is there. They are responsible for the development of cancer. Different cardiovascular diseases are occurring because of increased blood pressure and heartbeat. That is because of high secretion of adrenaline that is stimulated by nicotine. So there are various heart disorders because of high heart rate. Then smokers cough and bronchitis. Because of continuous smoking, the mucous membrane of throat, respiratory tract are going to be irritated, and that is responsible for persistent cough. So there is irritation of mucous membrane of respiratory tract. That is responsible for cough. Now because of smoking, the alveoli, the walls of alveoli are going to rupture, and because of this rupturing of alveoli wall, the surface area for the exchange of gases are going to reduce, and we know that this condition is known as emphysema. So the major reason for emphysema is smoking. Another one is stomach disorder. I already told you that is because the gastric glands, they are going to release gastric juice without requirement, and this is leading to ulcer that is going to affect the membranes of the stomach. Then pulmonary tuberculosis, because of the sharings of cigarettes or bidis, that sharing is responsible for the transmission of tuberculosis also from an infected person to healthy person. Then tissue damage, alveoli are going to rupture, bronchi are going to inflammate, mucous membranes are going to be damaged. So different tissue damage will be there because of smoking. Then immune system of an individual is also going to be damaged and weak. Vital capacity of our lungs is going to decrease, because lungs are the organs that are affected most by smoking. And other effects, these are the effects that are occurring on the family, violence is there, then economic problems are going to occur in society also. Such type of individuals are going to perform various criminal activities. So these are the other effects, and later on when an individual is involved in smoking, chances are that he or she might get involved in taking drugs or alcohols. So the situation is going to occur more and more worst. So this is how tobacco consuming is responsible for various disorders. In our next class, we will talk about what alcohol consumption is and how alcohol consumption is affecting an individual and society, and what are different drugs.